Hey guys, what's up? It's Alpha Gaming here. Hope everybody's doing good. So I was just gonna make a quick video today about the current format and then the best staple card that I think works really well. Now, previously this card wasn't so good in the previous format because of, and I'm talking about evenly matched. It wasn't so good in the previous format because the other format more consisted of making a board of Omni Negates, which those were the Hulk into Auroradon, into like Borreload Savage, Herald of the Arc Light, um, what's the other one's name? Baron de Flor, and there's a few others, but the main point is back then you used to have to run cards that the opponent couldn't respond to, such as Forbidden Droplet or um, Dark Ruler, and then in some cases Super Polymerization, because you can't respond to any of those with anything. Well, actually, with Dark Ruler, there's traps and spells that you can go with to negate Dark Ruler, but that's a whole different story. But anyways, the main point is back then you couldn't really use evenly matched and get as much success as you would now because now the boards are not made up of a bunch of negates. It's more made up of a bunch of interruptions, right? And how you get around those interruptions because a lot of this meta, what you're gonna see is a bunch of branded Despias, because that's the number one deck in the game currently. At least in my opinion, the branded Despia deck is really disgusting. If you guys have played against it, then you'll know what I mean. It sets up a bunch of interruptions, and then once it goes off, it's very, very consistent. There's like 9 different cards to get to their branded fusion. But yeah, once they set up their board, they have a very good start and like for the long game as well, if the match stretches out. And then evenly match just kinds of it limits them because it banishes cards face down and it gives you a chance to actually play without them interrupting every 5 seconds. So I'm gonna play a few replays for you just to show you how really good this card is. And then I didn't only do like I only dueled a few times since the new reset. Um, like I was gonna climb up in the ladder, but then while I was playing, I made changes here and there, and I was just like, you know what? I think evenly match would actually work really well, and I was correct. So you guys should have seen a few times when I have used evenly match in the previous format. But yeah, I saved a few games that specifically I got to resolve it. And this was actually Sword Soul. And this deck is not a bad deck now by any means. It's just not it's just not as disgusting without Hulk. Because Hulk used to make this just ridiculous. So I would say the deck is now, you're now comfortable going against this deck. Before, once they go first, if you didn't have an interruption or a way to stop them, that was just it. And this guy, I don't know if he just didn't read evenly match or didn't know how it works, but if I have no cards on my field, they have to banish everything. And it banishes face down, so you can't really interact with face down cards. And then, I don't know if you guys saw, but I resolved the board just now, and I took away all their extra deck monsters. So, because the way that Zaborg works is, when you tribute summon by tributing on a light monster, I get to target and destroy a light monster on the field. Then um, send cards from my extra deck to the graveyard. And if you guys would take a look at my extra deck really quick, a lot of these have extra deck effects. And of course, I'm the one selecting them, so I'm gonna select the one with extra deck effects. These are all cards that have an effect when sent to the graveyard. And then up here, we have 3 Heralds. We have Adagnister. And then we have Totally Awesome, and then Omega to recover our resources. But yeah, and then not only do I get to do that, I also get to rip apart their extra deck with 8 monsters of my selection as well. So I'm gonna make sure that you can't play. So yeah, once a Borg went off, that was just it. I think this match was Sky Striker. Yeah, I think this one was Sky Striker, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was Sky Striker. And of course, they had the Lightning Storm to take out my Unicorn. And I'm sad they negated my Trish. This was one of the reasons why I added Sauravis to my deck so that it can protect my rituals. Because Sauravis is highly searchable in this deck. And right here, they're just doing Sky Striker stuff. They're not really doing anything crazy. But yeah, right here, they just gave me a bunch of targets. And then I drew Zaborg. So right here, I didn't think of this at this time, but now that I'm rewatching the replay, what I could have done here to make a more dominating field was because they still have a lot of extra deck resources at this time, and I have Zaborg. So when I went for Unicorn just now, instead of sending Herald, no, I sent the right card. I sent Herald. But what I should have done is I should have gone for the incantation ritual monster, which allows me to send itself from the hand to the graveyard, then special summon an incantation from the deck. Once you do that, you can tribute summon Zaborg by tributing both of them. When Zaborg comes out, pop himself, and then mill 8 of his extra deck cards, mill 8 of mine, and I'll get a ton of resources because, as we discussed, I have a bunch of extra deck effects. I didn't think of that at the time, but that was also a possible play that I could have done. And yeah, Unicorn negates all extra deck monsters, so it's still a floodgate, either way. But yeah, this is more of a something just to show how powerful evenly matched is, not so much the Necron's deck. Because I did a previous video showcasing this deck already. I know they only had 2 cards right here, but I still wanted to evenly match because that could have been an imperm or anything. I can't see what it is. But yeah, that could have been an imperm or something. So yeah, this person was running a Shadal branded, and I just took away all their starters. And then on top of everything, they got trished. So yeah, at this point, their chance of winning is very, very slim because they don't. I took away all their starter cards from their extra deck. Yeah, this was just way too much. At this point, I think they just quit. Yeah, they didn't have a way to come back from that. So yeah, this was just mostly a showcase on evenly matched. Um, so yeah, I want you guys to give it a try because as you guys see, it's very good in this format. At least I think so. Give it a try, see what you think. And if you guys are wondering about this deck, I did a video on this deck already. This is the Necroz deck, which was previously a top tier, tier zero deck in the past, and it still works really, really well even now because Unicorn was very limited. Unicorn was at one, and this deck was still ridiculous. And it's at full power right now. Um, it's at full power Necroz, so this deck is still really good. It's one of my favorite decks. It's one of my favorite archetypes in general. Next to Dark Magician, stuff like that. But yeah, I love how they work, and I'm just trying out different ratios. I had threes of boards in the previous video. Trying out different ratios. I'm trying out Cerevis to see if it can protect my Trishula from effect failures or Imperm, because a lot of people are running those cards. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one. Bye bye.